Hello, everyone. Welcome to Louis Lasagna's director's commentary of The Simpsons Episode 1 Christmas Special. Now, before we head into this, I just want to say a few things and explain why I'm doing this. Well, a few years ago, I started putting some directors' TikToks up, and people really liked it. And the reason why I did that is because when I was younger, I used to buy the DVD box sets of The Simpsons because I absolutely love The Simpsons. Well, actually, I didn't buy them. My grandmother worked for Fox, so we used to get them before they came out. She was like in the marketing or releasing for the UK, so we used to get them. But these DVDs, they used to have like property of Fox on, but that's a story for another time. So anyway, we would get them, and we would obviously watch them until they forever. And then we discovered the extra audio track on these DVDs, which is pretty cool. And so I've got a lot of brothers, and we shared a room. So at night we would put on these DVDs, yeah, these Simpsons DVDs, and listen to, Matt Groening and all the other guys just tell us insights about the Simpsons that we didn't know, because, you know, the internet wasn't big, there was no YouTube or anything, so everyone had like a shared culture. And one of these shared culture things was The Simpsons because it was on like every day, and everyone was watching it about 6 o'clock in the UK. On a Monday, it was on after the Fresh Prince of Bel Air and like just before the news or something. So people would go to school or go to work and they would have the same jokes. It's not the same. It's not the same anymore. People tend to have their own little individual worlds because you can. You can have like a very specific niche interest, like I don't know, esports in a specific field or whatever. But back in the day, you could only you there wasn't these things, so you shared things that were on TV or whatever. And so yeah, so a lot of these episodes, first of all, The Simpsons is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And a lot of these episodes, they really have how can I say, some great writing. And let me just mute this. There we go. Sorry, we just had a let me just mute this. There we go. Sorry, we just had a sorry, I just had a little bit of a weird thing with the Twitch stream. Anyway, have a lot of great writers, if that was what I was on, and insights and great writers, if that was what I was on, and insights and great writers, if that was what I was on, and sorry, sorry. There we go. Sorry, had like loads of Twitch things open as I went to check some stuff, but it's all okay now. Yeah. So the writers, they come from like a another world, really, an old world that used to be. And 90s TV is a very special thing. So I really want to go back into that. Plus, strangely enough, Disney, after buying, Fox and acquiring The Simpsons, they haven't added the audio commentary on, which I think is insane. And so there's nowhere on YouTube that you can actually you can watch a full episode. Yeah. So what they've done is they've got like a season one or something, and the episodes are like just the audio file. But you want to watch it with the video. Yeah. You want to see it as it's going, and it didn't have that, and it really annoyed me. I was thinking, why don't they have it? Why hasn't anyone done like a commentary on the director's commentary of The Simpsons? And the reason is this: it's so hard to edit that audio into the original video. So you split them and you put them back in. But The Simpsons isn't exactly dubbed in, and there's a little like boring stuff like it's a little bit slightly re-edited on like Disney Plus or whatever. So Yeah, it's not perfectly synced anyway to begin with, so it's very tedious. One bit could be out of sync, and it's a bit boring. But I've done that very thing. I've um I've re-edited it all in, so now we can go through it and re-watch the Simpsons directory commentary with the audio with myself. And my plan is to do this over every single director's commentary. So there are absolute hours of it. I can't wait. And I haven't seen these since I was maybe 16. Yeah, so double that now. So I would like to see how my views on the Simpsons episodes or the original commentary is different, because you change with age, and you look when you rediscover things like a movie or a book, you look at it with new eyes. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how this goes, and I'm just really excited. I absolutely love The Simpsons. And that's another point that I'll come into before we start, is that The Simpsons has changed. It's still going on, but it has changed a lot, better or for worse. Obviously, trends change, tastes change, the goal of the Simpsons changes, the environment that the writers are in changes, the writers change, so many things. So there isn't a Simpsons commentary for absolutely every episode, but we will come to that in many, many, many months, because there is so much director's commentary, is insane. Now, there isn't director's commentary in other languages, as I believe. I believe it's only in English, but I am working on that at the moment. So that's an extra side project. That's quite difficult. We're trying to get the Simpsons director's commentary into different languages with the original voices. So that's a very fun, hard project. Maybe I'll do a separate thing on that, but that is very difficult. Okay, what else are we going to talk about? So we're going to do an episode a day to start off with. So we're doing it at 1 p.m. Indo China time. That's +7 from Greenwich Mean Time. And if you hear scratching or banging at my door, that's my beautiful girlfriend. She just really can't leave me alone, which is a fantastic thing. But she said she's going to get a head massage and have a coffee. I mean, we already had a coffee today, so pretty buzzed. The coffee where we're from is super strong and delicious. And also, there might be some singing or loudspeaking. There's some governmental like propaganda stuff going on around here. I'm seeing the government official lurking around and stuff like that. So I think they're having a nice time singing, and probably a little bit of drinking as well, which is pretty cool. But I apologize for any noise. I can't hear any, but the windows are pretty thin. Okay, so obviously the first episode we'll be watching today is the Simpsons Christmas special, the first ever episode. And I can't exactly remember when I first watched this, but it must have been on Sky One, obviously Fox. Yeah, in the 90s sometime. And it would have been on a Sunday for sure. And I would have been at my grandparents' house because we did not have Sky. Sky was pretty expensive. It was pretty new, and I feel like maybe the Simpsons and Cartoon Network is really what made us pressure our parents into finally getting it. It took a while though. We didn't get it straight away. It's very expensive, and I think really the Simpsons, looking back on it, must have been like a huge sale for Sky, absolutely big, because I wasn't going to my parents about having Sky in the UK. Like I said, it's just Fox. Yeah, it's our version of Fox. It still exists now as like Sky Now, or Sky Go, or Now TV as well, I believe. But it's okay. It's quite good to watch like HBO stuff on and stuff like that. But it was a giant back in the UK. Basically, you had like these huge boxes. In case you never seen these before, oof, and they go in, and basically you could select the channel. There was like 800 channels, which was unheard of. You had things like Fox Kids, Cartoon Network, And Cartoon Network was great. It had like at that time it was like premiering Dexter's Laboratory and Powerpuff Girls, and it would slowly go into Samurai Jack, which is absolutely fantastic 90s cartoon. It, it it's too good. And another time we'll talk about 2000. I think it's 17, which is a fantastic year for everything 90s. Yeah, it's like the rebirth in 2017, but that's another time. Anyway, so yeah, you would have these Sky boxes. I think it was like 106 was Sky or something like that, and 6 p.m. on a Sunday. In the 90s, it was going between like Star Trek, Simpsons at this kind of time frame. Star Trek, another huge show, and good at that time. Not like now, unfortunately. Do admire the visuals, but they don't have that episodicness that The Simpsons has as well. As a side note, I'm actually watching Alias for the first time with my missus, because Alias was actually uh, televised in Vietnam. This is where I am at the moment, and this show is a very crazy show to have because of it's to do with spies and cheating, government deception and stuff like that. But the government okayed for it to be on TV, which is insane. So it used to be on. My missus says like maybe twice a week or whatever, and there was not much TV in Vietnam then. This will be in the 90s as well, or well, whenever Alias came out. And so it's absolutely insane that she got to watch it, and I quite enjoy it. It's got that nice 90s writing and structure. So we're on episode 5, but that's another thing. Anyway, right, we're going to get into this episode, and we're going to see how it goes. It's not too formal or anything. We might start, we might stop, but here we go. Episode 1, the start.
This is David Silverman.
Jim Brooks.
And this is the first show that aired.
I want to hear the first joke. I haven't seen this in a long time. Has to be within the first minute, right?
Yeah, it would be. This was our first look at Springfield Elementary.
Sorry, excuse me. Pardon me.
Hey, Norman, how's it going? So you got dragged down here too, huh? How you doing, Fred?
Excuse me.
Looking back at this, there is an excitement when you go to a kids thing, and you feel like as an adult I can sympathize, connect with Homer here a bit. Like you still feel like a kid, yeah. You're still excited. You see people, and you got that little bit of buzz, especially if it's in the evening. It's not a usual thing, and your other friends are there, so it's quite nice, growing up, and then uh having that view, that kind of view that, when you're a child, you look at adults and you think they're like a completely other thing. And watching this, I never really picked up on Homer being, what can I say? Homer being uh, a person in this moment. Yeah, I can. Yeah.
I love the star design on Maggie's snowsuit.
Of course, it was before we established real neighbors, so we just had random names called out to people.
Wasn't that wonderful? And now, Santas of many lands, as presented by the entire second grade class.
Oh, Lisa's class.
Felice Weihnachten. That's German for Merry Christmas. In Germany,
This is actually in part inspired by an experience I had growing up. When I was in the second grade, we studied how Christmas was celebrated in many lands, and I had grandparents from Russia. And I was told, because Russia's a communist country, there was no Christmas. Please sit down, Matt.
On that, I've celebrated Christmas in many countries, and I think the craziest place I've ever lived where they celebrate Christmas is the Caribbean. And the reason is they have this thing called 9 mornings. So I know it's going to sound crazy what I'm about to say now, but the Caribbean, Christmas is a Christian thing, and in the Caribbean they're very, 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 very religious. Fair enough, whatever. I'm great for them. But while I was there, they have this thing called 9 mornings, and every morning for 9 mornings before Christmas, they have a full-on street party in the middle, in the town, in the capital, yeah, Kingstown, and in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it would start at 5:30 a.m. and it would end at about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and everyone would go to work. And a friend said to me, "Hey, you coming to 9 mornings?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What 9 mornings? We get up to drink and party at 5:30? Yeah, yeah. I kid you not. We're going into town. It's dark, and there are just so many kids, just so many local kids, just cycling in. We go there. Everyone's playing football. There's prizes. There's the local radio. There's the prime minister. There's absolutely everyone everywhere, and it's just absolutely going crazy. They're playing actually very good games. Yeah, people drinking beer. You know, it's crazy that it just happens at 5:30 in the morning. There are reasons. It's because in the Caribbean, if you're not in like Barbados or something, the public transport stops at 6 o'clock. If you're not home at 6 and you don't drive, it's over. It's absolutely over. So yeah, that's why it's a bit crazy. But that was very crazy. And then Christmas, obviously there's no snow, hardly anyone has any things up, but Christmas is taken so seriously there. And in contrast to somewhere like Vietnam, where there are at Christmas in Vietnam, there's decorations everywhere. Every shop is done up. It looks super Christmassy, but no Christmas celebration. Just Christmas Day, 25th, is a normal day, and yeah, that's a bit unusual. That's a bit strange. It's like, oh, all this hype, everything, and then absolutely nothing. But they do have Tet that like comes around later on, and Tet is another thing. Tet is absolutely amazing, and it's about a week long, and it's just the same as Christmas, but I would say even more rituals, family rituals, togetherness. That's crazy. But yeah, definitely the Caribbean is the craziest place I've been to so far. I've been to many places that had Christmas. Germany is a good place for Christmas, obviously the Christmas markets and stuff, and like the Catholic Church and stuff like that. The way they do stuff. Put it this way: every country I go to, I try to do all the cultural events, and I've had good fun doing all of them in so many countries. Anyway, continue.
Like Santa Claus. I have eyes in the back of my head, so children better behave when I'm nearby.
I think this is the first time of many in which the entire audience at a Simpsons episode reacts in unison.
Yes, that was sort of the that was a
Oh, I
directorial
remember this.
choice.
God, how long since you've seen this, Matt?
10 years.
Yeah, this is
there was some
emotional, man.
question
This is-
about whether or not we could get away with Lisa and that kind of
Well,
skimpy.
she has a body stocking on.
Yeah, that's what it is. That was the explanation.
That dress is crazy. To this day, I still don't. Let's go back here. To this day, I still don't know how the animation even goes. Look, skin, 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 but dress, dress, dress. Man, crazy. But a great part.
Great
Oh, I
Great
remember
for
this. God,
Lisa.
how long since you've seen this, Matt?
10 years.
Yeah, this is
there was some
emotional, man.
question
This is-
about whether or not we could get away with Lisa and that kind of
Well,
skimpy.
she has a body stocking on.
Yeah, that's what it is. That was the explanation.
That's later on, yeah.
Now favor us with a melody.
An original idea behind the character of Principal Skinner was that he would mispronounce words and. Oh my God! Look at those designs.
Well, it was early. Some actually stick. There's Wendell. And this is our first introduction of Bart in the series.
Homer,
What
he
a
sings like
character.
an angel.
He's a little off model, but that's pretty close.
Bart singing the alternate version of Jingle Bells, of course, is not something that we originated, but it's a classic on children's playgrounds. And it's amazing how many kids have given the Simpsons writers credits
That's true, yeah.
for ripping off other kids.
This is extraordinary seeing this after this long, man.
Dear friends of the
God,
Simpson
yeah.
family, we had some sadness and some gladness this year. First, the sadness.
It's interesting doing a montage on just one narration,
But we bought a new little cat.
trying to come up
so
with
watch it.
gags
So
with
I
everything
guess life
that is
goes
being
on.
said.
Speaking of life,
I had a brother, and he just absolutely went through rabbits. So my mum used to. He's my younger brother, and when we were younger, my mum used to like wake me up in my about early hours of the morning. Lewis, wake up, and I'll be like, what the hell do you want, man? What what's up, mum? And she'd be like, oh, another rabbit's dead. Can you can you uh can you get rid of it before Theo wakes up? My brother, yeah, he used to name all his rabbits Bob Marley. So Bob Marley 1, Bob Marley 2, Bob Marley 3. And man, I used to have to put it into a garbage bag, and we live near the woods, so I'd go to the woods, and then I would just like absolutely I can't be bothered to bury it, so I'd just swing it. I probably did it because of The Simpsons, because there's an episode when they go to the wilderness. Yeah, I think it's in season one. It must be in season one. And basically, they like set up a trap, I think, and try to catch a food because they're stuck in the wild. Yeah, and then it just shoots off. So anyway, yeah.
That's how you include Grandpa with a photograph.
Well, yeah, we had this idea that maybe characters who weren't present in the scene should always be seen in the background in portraits.
and Bart, well,
Maggie fell down a lot back then, and I usually made her fall down as much as I could.
touched us all.
Marge, haven't you finished that stupid
And we
letter
also
yet?
used to have Maggie suck on her pacifier over dialogue, and we learned our lesson because it's very distracting. So Maggie stopped doing that after a couple
Sorry.
episodes.
I'm just a big kid, and I love Christmas so much. Oh! Yeah.
That
A good
was my
example of
life
showing
growing
people's
up.
expression without seeing their faces.
I'll send them to
I don't know about anyone else, but that was my household. So now everything is organized because growing up, oh my God, I think it was just a complete mess. Lots of siblings.
Santa's workshop at the North Pole.
Oh, please. There's only one fat guy that brings us presents, and his name ain't Santa.
A pony? Oh, Lisa, you've asked for that for the last 3 years, and I
One of the
kept telling
unusual
you
things about
Santa
The Simpsons
What do girls that have ponies, when they get a pony, what do they want? Another pony? I saw one quick when I'm back in England, I'll ask some of my horse friends. What do they want when they were kids when they were given a horse?
was that the entire show is done completely in cell paint. That is, the backgrounds are not done in watercolor, and so the cells are very thick with many layers, and that's why you see some glitchy paint spots and shadows where the cells piled up.
Called cell flares when you get the little halo around their heads.
Homer.
Yellow.
Interesting. I've always liked the thickness or the richness of the characters. Um, yeah. The This was like any other cartoon when this came out. It looked great. It absolutely looked fantastic, and as it went on, the color just got better and better, and the artistic talent. Some of the sequences they do. There's an episode where I was just off the top of my head where uh, Homer goes to a candy convention with Marge, and he makes like a bomb, a soda pop bomb, and he's like not today, candy boys, or something like that, and he throws it, and it explodes. Great scene, and the way the camera rotates is actually great, and that's what I love about The Simpsons is like how creative they got within the structure of the Simpsons. Kind of like Dexter's Laboratory and Samurai Jack, two other shows that I do love because of that kind of thing.
Who's this?
May I please speak to Marge?
This is her sister, isn't it?
Is Marge there?
Who
Once
shall
again,
I
Julie
say
Kavner
calling?
being brilliant.
Remember when we were obsessed with keeping the characters' identity secrets so they could experience this as real. Remember all that? We lasted like a year and a half at that.
Yeah, it was
That's right. Every time they have interviews, they'd have like hats on and glasses.
Homer and I
Well,
are
the
looking
direction that Julie
forward to
Kavner
it
was
as
given from the very beginning with Patty and Selma, the sisters, was just drain all joy out of every line of dialogue.
man you could have married. I don't know why you picked one who's always so rude.
I've been very lucky. My missus' family absolutely lovely. She doesn't have any sisters. She has an older brother. But absolutely fantastic. And loves to drink and do karaoke. So I don't actually have that problem. Yeah, lucky.
That was an easy fall for Homer. It got more painful later on.
Dazzle. Marge, turn on the juice.
Tell all the truth.
What do you think, kids?
Nice try, Dad.
Just hold your horses, son. Hey, Simpson!
What is it,
Now,
Flanders?
the first introduction
You
of
think this
Flanders.
looks okay?
Great character.
So
Typical
Flanders wasn't yet the
bad stuff, eh?
religious goody two-shoes.
Do you remember how we did when this was on, when it was first on, Matt? Do you?
You know, I think this was.
Wanna go Christmas shopping?
I think it did pretty well from the very beginning.
Go get your money.
Tell it, Marge. Where have you been?
One of the
hiding?
problems we had early on is look at pupil size. I'm an obsessed over little details, folks, because
Right.
you know I'm that's the kind of guy I am. But we talked about pupil size, but we could never agree on what that pupil size should be.
Whoa! I missed that. Was that the swear jar, the savings jar?
I think it did pretty well from the very beginning.
Go get your money.
Tell it, Marge. Where have you been?
One of the
hiding?
problems we had early on is look at pupil size. I'm an obsessed over little details, folks, because I'm
That's great. That's great.
that's the kind of guy I am. But we talked about pupil size, but we could never agree
I
on
always
what that
wonder
pupil
if
size should
my
be
my missus does that.
until finally David Silverman made up the rules.
It was sort of like one pupil is 1/7 of the eye.
Is that the rule?
That was the rule, yes. That's the rule, yes.
What was I to say on this? Tattoos.
No, Bart, that's
We had a tough time with this scene because we couldn't find a way out of it with the tattoo guy, and why the tattoo guy would actually give Bart a tattoo.
Wait a minute. How old
What
are you?
possible reasoning he could have. We came up with so many lines to justify.
I've got something to say, but I need
So
it
we
to
just
go on.
gave up and said, "Get in the chair."
Yeah, you'll notice
But that was the big deal. We were obsessed with making him real, with not taking any of the cartoon liberties.
Attention all personnel. Please keep working during the following announcement. And now, our boss and friend, Mr. Burns. Hello. I'm proud to announce that we've been able to
This
increase safety
is
here at the plant
exactly
without increasing
what
the
work is
cost to
like.
the consumer
This is
or affecting
absolutely
Well,
true.
that sound different, huh?
However, for you semi-skilled
Keep
workers,
writing.
there will be no
Well, he's over
Christmas
speaker.
But that was a
yeah.
stroke. I mean, Homer's job. That was a real stroke, man.
Merry Christmas.
Well,
Genius.
my feeling was that if we made Homer working at a place that could actually destroy the city, and cause havoc, I thought
Homer working at the nuclear power station is fantastic. Everything that the slight little bits, the little insight to how they are is absolutely amazing, and I think that has impacted my work life absolutely completely. Is the nuclear power plant of Springfield?
and also I have environmental concerns. I thought if anything we could slip into the show, that would be really a great thing to do.
We used to cackle when you upset the industry at the beginning.
It's one of my favorite
Yes,
jokes,
Mrs.
the
Simpson,
tattoo
we
that says
can remove
moth.
your son's tattoo. It's a simple routine involving lasers.
Cool.
Right.
However, it is
It's a
rather
great gag
expensive.
that Rich
You
Moore did
must
in the
insist on a
storyboard.
cash payment up front.
Be good to mention that Rich Moore did the board for this episode, and he designed Flanders really because he had a great character, great drawing in the storyboard. We just used that when we came to design the character.
Squirm. You don't want to get this sucker near
I'm
your
gonna-
eye or your groin.
Right, I gotta stop it there. So like I said, I have many brothers, and one of them is just crazy, just absolutely crazy, and he was always bad at getting presents for my mother for Mother's Day, Christmas. He just never did it. He still doesn't, to be fair. I think he tries, but he just doesn't do it. And And so what he did one year was, we all woke up mum or whatever for like, I think it was her birthday for sure, and we gave the presents. We got we did this. No, nowadays we chip in. But anyway, so my brother, total crazy guy, love him to bits. Got many stories about him. But he comes in, he goes, "Happy birthday, mum," and he like pulls up his sleeve and he got a tattoo on himself for my mum's birthday. My mum actually hates tattoos, obviously. And not only did he get a tattoo, but it was I don't know if you know Cocoa Pops. Yeah, I don't know if it's in America or whatever, but it's a cereal in England anyway by Kellogg's, I believe. And he got the Cocoa Pops monkey holding a wrench. And my brother wanted to be a mechanic back in the day. I think my brother was grounded and dead forever anyway, but he was that was it. He was completely done. I will never ever forget. Sometimes that he must have been about 14, no, 16, 17. He must have been at that time. And we'll be out, you know. We built some restaurants and bars and stuff, and we'll be out and we're much older. And I will just be like to people when he's around who are having a great time, people that don't know him that well. Hey, when he was younger, he got he got my mum for her birthday a tattoo of the Cocoa Pops monkey, and it is absolutely crazy. So so people do actually do it,
Ow! Quit it. Ow! Quit it.
and we were like
Now,
this. We were like
it's
this.
hard to imagine this now, but back in the
Absolutely.
old days,
Ow!
saying groin was that Fox censors flagged that, but we ignored them.
You wouldn't say groin so often in 1989.
Ooh, what a hit!
With that "I'll quit it"
It's not a good look.
bit, that was very much inspired by my relationship with my sisters, Lisa and Maggie.
Oh my God! We're ruined.
This is one of the first times I think Homer really, really was yelling and whining that signaled a change in the way Dan did Homer's voice. Less the Walter Matthau impression and more evolving to what it became.
My Christmas
Now,
bonus hit.
those finger twiddling things, that's strictly
great.
you, David.
Oh,
You pioneered that back in the Tracy Ullman show.
I would say me and Wes. I think Wes Archer.
Really?
You get a great deal
And
of
you got
credit.
it from Oliver Hardy?
Yes, I think we're going definitely Oliver Hardy on him.
But having that time of anonymous work on, when nobody was quite paying attention,
Oh,
it
the
wasn't center
comparison,
stage on the
Thief
Ullman
of
show.
Joy.
I think that helped so much. It was,
It's nice to toil in obscurity every now and then, you know?
yeah.
A great deal of freedom. Wes and I were just tickled to see that things we were animating were on a primetime show.
Huh? Oh, I love you, Mark.
Getting a budget from your missus is crazy. Always crazy. Doesn't matter how old it gets, or how much money you have. When you get that budget, oof, jeez, is that what we once, for example, my missus goes, "Hey, should we get some chocolate for the festive time?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Why don't we get those ones that we enjoyed?" I was like, "Yeah." And she was quite excited. And I said, "Yeah, get 8 bags." But the thing is, one bag was huge. I was just like being sarcastic and joking around. And then next week, I got the bill for 8 giant bags of candy. And I don't have them here because I have other candy here. But we have, I think, 6 bags left. It's absolutely insane. But yeah.
See, I remember seeing you at a Christmas party, and you were the one who talked passionately about a primetime series, and you collared me at a Christmas party, and I remember.
Well, I always wanted to meet you, and I figured I may as well foam at the mouth when I met you.
Your Christmas bonus.
That must be crazy. Imagine being at a party, having this in memory of being at a party and go, "Hey, let's make a primetime cartoon or whatever, and let's just give it a go. I think it will work." And then it just be the biggest thing ever.
I keep asking for it, but
Marge, oh, let me be honest with you.
yes.
Well, I would.
He'll be on his way.
I want to do the Christmas shopping this year.
Huh? Sure.
Maybe this
Okay.
episode inspired Breaking Bad.
No, Jim, this was a note that you had from the very beginning, which was to really anchor the Simpsons economically and keep them mired in their money problems. and that make it real, because most sitcoms, people have no money problems whatsoever, or the money problems aren't real. And we actually kind of lost that idea as the series went on. But at the beginning, they were really penny pinching.
Yeah, it's sort of fun to get back to our roots, man. Even now, you know, it's
Yeah.
Oh my, what a little mess we've got here. Well, which ones are yours and which ones are mine?
Well, let's see.
This is
Oh,
great.
this one's mine. This one's mine. This
That
one's
is one of
mine.
my favorite
And,
jokes.
They're all yours.
Hey, Mr. Simpson, you dropped your pork chop.
We would,
This is one of my favorite jokes with the squeak toy.
well, happy holidays, Simpson.
I think for years you know, if it was a squeaky toy like that, I would say to my friends, "Hey, Mr. Horn, you dropped a squeaky toy." On that note, I have so many crazy Simpsons friends, and all we used to do was do Simpsons references and quotes, and I miss those days.
Hey, Dad.
I like about some of these early shows is what minor occurrences in daily life we explored. As the show went on, we got much bigger stories. But this is just about shopping for Christmas gifts when you don't have much money.
One of my favorite characters is Mo Sizlak. Absolutely, absolutely love him, and I love Mo's.
Sitting there sucking on a beer all day long.
So,
and we're just saying that the pace has picked up. This is a slower pace than we're doing the show now.
Oh, much slower. But you know, we're just getting rolling on so many things, and I think we're all learning every step of the way.
Well, what I remember about
society is mutating into hysteria, which is another.
What I was remembering about these early shows is that we really were experimenting, and the question was, could you make cartoon characters that look this weird and grotesque actually make you feel some real emotion? I mean, combining it with jokes, but actually be on board with whatever the problem.
That was
What Matt Groening just said is quite a crazy thing that they were, you know, wondering if they could do. Because, you know, when you open a business or something, you're quite like, can we do it? Is this feasible? If we have this thing, can we actually achieve it? And I think there are some episode highlights that knock that out of the park. And one of them, the episode that really comes to mind, there's two episodes, but the first one, without a doubt, is Lisa's Substitute. That's the one where she falls in love with what's his name? The guy, the voice for it. He's in Rayman and whatever. What's his name? Let's have a little look. Hoffman, I think it. Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, he does the voice for the teacher. Great voiceover anyway, and the episode is great. Another one of my brothers, so many brothers. That is his favorite episode. Absolutely, he non-stop talks about it, but it's crazy that you can get these emotional bits with this cartoon.
Big deal to still do. I mean, it combines so many things. We were trying to do their characters. We talked about it endlessly.
What is it now, Simpson?
Well, Jim, one of the things you said was we ought to make people forget they're watching a cartoon.
From the top.
And, you know, not always, but occasionally. And I think you really do get on board with this.
And I think it was great that there had, what was it, 25 years since there had been a primetime, you know, animated series. So we had such full innocence, you know. There was
our first Nixon joke.
I missed the Nixon joke.
Like that scene being done in one shot.
What was the Nixon joke?
You know, we're just getting.
That was a big deal. Just,
you know, not always,
but
occasionally. And I think you really do get on board with this.
And I think it was great that there had, what was it, 25 years since there had been a primetime, you know, animated series. So we had such full innocence, you know. There was
our first Nixon joke.
One of many. He became a regular character.
And you know, in a perfect world, we would go into Futurama as well. The director's commentary on that is pretty good, and the Nixon jokes there are wild.
Like that scene being done in one shot. That makes their humor really great.
If such an emergency arises, you just
Very
have to
odd
send us
design in this guy. A character we would not have on anymore.
A nice bullet head.
Cool.
Homer,
Why are you 7 hours
Another
late?
example of playing somebody's emotion on their back.
Great for the
Homer, my sisters are here.
And another.
Another. I was saying earlier, this is a very nice layout done by.
I didn't have aunties like that, but I had a great uncle that just would poke me, and talk about nothing but cowboy movies.
Eric Stefani of the band No Doubt. When he first started working for us in '89, he and his sister Gwen were starting this little band, which is now a pretty big band.
Oh, so that's where the rumor started that Gwen Stefani is my sister. I read that on the internet.
Why is that?
Makes sense.
Well, I was just on my way out to get one.
Can we go too, Dad? Can we?
No.
That's a great shot. Oh, I love this too. This is a great scene.
Great
Hey, this is
music
you, right? This is all your.
Yeah.
Your,
I guess.
It was one of the first of many of Homer driving down the street and seeing signs which make him angrier.
It's supposed to be a dark silhouette, a black silhouette, but yeah.
Right. Very sure.
We don't want to take a retake on that.
You know, this stuff seems so mild these days, but I remember back at the beginning, it was something that we really questioned. Do we dare have him steal a Christmas tree? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Does that make him too unlikable?
Well, I think a show like this.
Interesting. TV, like Family Guy, has gone so far. I think Family Guy is, after The Simpsons, is the next. Is there another one? Right, frontier pushing cartoon in like prime time or like that adultness area kind of, because yeah, I think definitely Family Guy.
This sort of raises the standard of what's acceptable and what's not, and then people sort of move up to that standard.
Junk. I'm sure you've already got something much more important. A decent home and a loving father who would do anything for you.
This is sort of left from the Tracy Ullman show. We did these gags with photographs where action starts and we do a flash.
What age is it that you lose you don't care anymore? You know, like say goodbye or whatever.
I can't believe those kids are falling for it.
Hey, Millhouse.
Oh, hey, Millhouse. Is this the introduction of Millhouse?
This will be the first time he showed since the Butterfinger commercial, yeah.
Feel better, Santa.
Because that's his first appearance.
Oh, well, there's another Nixon reference. Millhouse, of course.
Oh, just telling the family business and being super honest to a little 6-year-old. It happens. The people that you're super honest to about, you know, you'll never see again back before like social media is crazy.
Named after Richard Millhouse Nixon.
There you go.
Hey, Santa, what's shaking, man?
Didn't pay his
What's
estate of
your
royalty.
name, partner? Little partner?
Well, I'm Bart Simpson.
It's
Who
a-
are you?
I'm jolly old Saint Nick.
Oh, yeah? We'll just see about
We
that.
should do a commentary where we just laugh at it. That's the material we're all part of. Just sort of this
Santa's workshop, little
self-involved.
boy. Cover for me, Alfie.
Don't kill me.
Is that sickening to laugh at your own stuff?
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
It's a secret.
No, I
Is it
think
the
10-year
reason my
statute of
bonus
limitations,
is
you're okay.
here? To keep the family from missing out on Christmas,
That was,
I'd
of
do
course, the first time he
anything.
said, "I'm Bart Simpson, who the hell are you?" in the series. And he said it once before, I guess, in the Tracy Ullman shorts.
Well, that's not
All
good,
right.
mushy, son. I still have a job to
You
do.
know, Bart
Hey,
had this
little boy,
reputation always for
Santa's
being this
back.
real hellion, and he
Oh,
was
the
actually pretty
Bedbugs.
mild at the beginning.
Ah,
Yeah.
son,
And
one
he expressed
day
a lot
you're
of
gonna know
love
the
for
satisfaction
his
of
dad,
payday,
especially, in many
receiving a big
episodes.
fat check for a job well
But I
done.
think there was also something that you had instilled in us, Jim, was that
Come on,
the
son.
family
Let's
has to
go
really
cash
love
this
each other.
baby and get
We can
presents
do as
for
many jokes and dark humor as you want to,
$50.
but if the
Hey,
family doesn't
wait
love
a
each
minute.
other,
That's right.
you know,
$120
it's just not going to
gross.
resonate
Less
with
Social
people.
Security, less
Yes.
unemployment insurance,
But-
less Santa training,
Santa.
less
There's
costumes
Nancy
for
Cartwright
Christmas, kid rental, less
doing
Christmas club.
doing
See
that
you next
clerk.
year.
Oh,
Come on, Dad. Let's go home.
$13.
All that
You
effort.
can't get anything for
There's a
13
style
bucks.
that we dropped, which is that sort of
Alright,
airbrush
let's take big ones.
floor.
Yes, we were using, it wasn't airbrush, it was actually different texture paper.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, and
Yeah, it doesn't read as
as
any perspective. It just seems flat to me.
right, it tends to flatten the image out. It's kind of a UPA-like approach.
I got to talk to Steven Spielberg once, and he said he liked The Simpsons because it reminded him of the Sunday comics. And I didn't know what he was talking about, but looking at this, it does look like a Sunday comic strip.
Having the painted backgrounds really gets that across. What the painted backgrounds also did was we were able to do a lot of perspective, moving the camera tricks by animating the background, which is much easier. I like cartoon characters referring to other cartoon characters. I remember the third act being one of the more complicated ones because we had this dog race, and now it's like compared to the shows today, it's very simple.
The little elves. Oh my god. I wonder. I can't remember them being super expanded. One cartoon series that really does well in expanding like the small little bits is South Park. Now, South Park is a great TV show, and the the extra little bits. I don't know if anyone's played the Simpsons video games, but they are great. Just trying to find all the Chim Pokemon is absolutely fantastic. But anyway,
But back then,
the naming of the dog was so great. That was like that.
Here's how you do limited animation on a somewhat limited animated show.
This is an idea that I had that they were obsessed with this long-running cartoon series, the Happy Little Elves, which we dropped pretty much after 2 or 3 episodes.
So it's taken over.
My original idea was that the Simpsons would be the only ones that would have hair color the same as their heads, but Barney originally had the yellow hair.
Then we dropped that in. Yeah, we separated it to be brown. And the other thing too is that we had a couple of characters outside of Homer with the beard line, like Lenny at the very beginning. Then we dropped that too.
Barney, of course, was inspired by Barney Rubble.
Lenny and Carl, absolutely fantastic.
We wanted to give Homer a sidekick neighbor, but we tried to make him truly pathetic. And that was the idea behind Barney.
The town drunk is his best friend.
And I think one of the other things that I was inspired by was the whole idea of the sitcoms that I grew up watching in the 1950s and early 60s, the family sitcoms, Leave It to Beaver and Ozzie and Harriet. And I was always very aware of what boundaries were not being crossed. And I thought it'd be really neat to get a show where we cross some of those boundaries, still maintain the sensibility of an old-fashioned sitcom. I mean, if you notice, The Simpsons have a lot of, look, there's a rabbit ear antenna on top of the TV. It's sort of a throwback to what I remember television's like when I was a kid.
And that was a big deal. You always, I remember when you came in that day and, that they have to watch television. There has to be a television series where you watch television, which nobody did, live action or not.
Yeah, that's true. Simpsons were a great look into the zeitgeist or what was going on and slightly before. It really did capture what life was like, and there's a difference between like social media, because social media kind of like push is like a salesmanship, whereas this is like commentating, and obviously it's selling your product, an entertainment product, but it's really just showing what it's like, because obviously you need to connect to it or whatever. But social media today um, pushes it, and then does it like influence the shows that are on? So maybe shows are not that you know analyzing of what's going on. I'll give you a better example because I'm mumbling. Is Breaking Bad. Now, Breaking Bad really, that show really encompasses that time and what is going around it, and has it going throughout it. I don't like it when you get to a show, you watch a show, and you start seeing all the text bubbles, or like there's like a very hard-headed way of like, oh, it's social media, so you have to use social media, social media, social media. It's like, oh, we get it, we know social media exists, but and okay, that old person doesn't know what it is, and you're like teaching them and being a little bit weird, like uh, uh, it happens in Birdman, the movie. But the thing about Birdman is it has a great monologue by Emma Stone, I think it is. A great monologue, and it really encompasses. It's not actually that great, but it really does show like just move on. Like it's now someone else's time. But the way that TV networks are like, hey, use it. It's not real. But the monologue by Emma Stone and Birdman is more relevant, I think.
Well, one of the things that's great about animation is that we can actually show what they're watching, whereas in live action it'd be too expensive.
Right.
My estimation of him will govern the prospects of my adult relationships. So I hope you bear in mind that any.
Well, if you remember, back in the very early days, Fox was very nervous about this show because they were unsure whether we could sustain an audience's attention for the length of a half-hour episode. And the one suggestion that was made very early on was that we should do
Interesting.
3 7-minute shorts per episode.
And then
That is so interesting. Fox was scared that they could keep their attention for that long. And now I talk to kids or my brothers or people, and the attention span has shortened. If anything, the Simpsons have the Simpsons and '90s movies. You had to put it in. Obviously, you know, obviously social media is just like just very quick and rapid to keep your attention. But I'm surprised that in that time when TV content was long, that they thought that people wouldn't watch a cartoon that long. That's crazy. But now today, oh my God, if I talk to a young person, a young person, but if I talk to someone and they shit on the mic and they just can't watch a film, or you know, I don't quite get that. They'll watch the review of a TV series or a movie. I'm like, well, maybe there's just too much content for them, but I like to put things on the background, but it's quite intriguing. And back on what Lisa was saying about how Homer is or whatever is going to impact who she chooses when she's older as a partner or a mate or whatever. And it being older, and my sisters, then seeing who they married, and also their view on our dad, and who they chose. It's super interesting.
4 specials until they got used to it, everything. And we had to have a conversation where we had to decide what we were going for because they had the rights to The Simpsons. And for a while, it was an absolute no. Remember? And I had to call you and say, do we gamble everything for 13?
Yeah.
Or should we take, remember?
Yep. Hey, look at this scene. This is great. Great animation here.
Yeah, this was
Probably
a lot
the
of
best
fun.
animation of this episode.
We actually animated the dog cycle, and we did a lot of elaborate pens.
Don't worry, Dad. Maybe this is just for
After this
suspense
is a
before
fun
the
little camera
miracle
move.
happens.
Come on, you stupid dog.
Go,
Come on, boy.
A lot of great animation of Homer getting more and more upset. That was the most complicated shot.
Wow.
Just doing a lot of fast cutting to get the. I love that sound effect. Great sound effect.
Well, one of the things we decided very early
We should do
on-
everything. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
No. After
No,
you.
I'm saying we should do everything where we say everything's great. Great line, great straight.
On that, so Homer betting his last $13 on the horse race. I had a crazy time when I was younger. My sisters are pretty okay singers, so basically they had singing lessons, yeah. And in England, singing is big, but it's not huge. It's not like in Asia where everyone sings or attempts to sing. So anyway, we used to go on these like haven holidays. You don't know what those are. They're like really, really cheap holidays, and you go to like the woods or most likely the seaside, and you would stay in like a caravan, yeah. And you have to top up your electric or whatever, and share rooms. It was very small, but there would be loads of other families, and there'd be like an arcade, and there would be like a performance room. So imagine like what's it called, X Factor, yeah. And in this room that was kind of like that, but way lower budget, families would meet every night, watch entertainment, a cabaret, singing and dancing. It was much bigger back in the day. Now I think they're like uh, uh, rubbish. I think Weatherspoons has a deal with them, and Weatherspoons is a big pub chain in England. Anyway, for the Saturday night every Saturday night they would have a talent show. So in the week they would have like the practices or the rehearsals or the stages. On every Saturday they would have the final. And if you won it, yeah, you could do anything. You could like dance, sing, you could act, you could do whatever. But most people either sung or danced. So basically, kids that had a hobby, they would do the hobby on a Saturday night. Yeah, and if you win a holiday. It's genius because what you're doing is they would set the holiday in off-peak times. Yeah, and so that you would go. So the caravans are empty, but people are coming and they're spending money on food and drinks and stuff like that in your off-peak time. So for them, it makes complete sense. You're filling it up when you're empty anyway. But anyway, my sisters used to clean up. So my sisters used to go there and they used to like win and 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 win. And they used to win more and more holidays and they would go up and up and up and until they had like the grand yearly finals or some crap like that. But anyway, so my grandmother used to take us on these small budget holidays, but my dad would take us to the rewards, the winning things, yeah, the things you win. So he was forking out loads and loads of cash all the time because the girls were good, good enough anyway to get to the finals. And when we got to the finals, man, the place was absolutely packed, but my dad had no more money left, and so after like spending food and drinks, we had no money to to get home, And this place was we had to go back to the southeast of England, and we're in like the north of Wales, yeah, a place called Prestatyn, crazy place, absolutely crazy. So anyway, um, when on like just before we left, everyone was packing into the car. My dad was going to me and one of my other brothers. That we got no money left. We got £2 left. £2 left, and we went over to like the arcade. They'd have like a gambling area, like slot machines or whatever, and basically and like pool tables and like I don't know, more gambling stuff. And my dad goes, "Boys, choose the machine." And there was a machine, it had Donkey Kong on. And I love video games. And I just went to my dad, Dad, put the money in the Donkey Kong machine. The monkey's telling me something. And my dad tells the story to everyone. So we put the pound in, he span it, boom, 50 quid. 50 quid he got. That was quite a chunk of change back in the day. And my dad's going absolutely mental. Me and my brothers are going absolutely mental. And my dad's like, obviously he got another pound. He had £2 left. He put one in and got 50 quid. Has the pound or whatever. Because you get it back. But anyway, he goes, Lewis, do it again. And I go, noughts and crosses, noughts and crosses. And we go over, we put the pound in, jacked noughts and crosses once. We had like 102 quid or whatever like that. My dad is going absolutely absolutely bananas. Because we've got to drive like, I don't know, 80 miles, 90 miles, and we've got no money for petrol. So anyway, my dad's just going absolutely crazy. We're jumping, we can't even believe it. And then they have obviously a bar, and my dad just pulls me and my brother to the bar, and he goes to the bartender, 2 whiskeys for my boys. And the bartender just goes, no. Oh, my dad's like, oh, okay. And then we left, got some McDonald's, and then just did the greatest drive back ever. My dad was probably the happiest dad in the world at that moment. Okay. Anyway, carry on.
Line. We should that should be the extent of what we do.
Well, no, we're talking about some of the rules. No, we're talking about when we break the rules.
No, I'm with you.
Well, here's something. I wanted this show to be full of trash and cracked walls and imperfections in the pavement, and we certainly nailed that in this one.
This is great, man. See, I'm doing.
Almost drunk.
Yeah, I love it.
Like pathetic small figures in a wide shot.
Look, Dad.
So basically,
the story's so neat.
Basically, this ending with the Greyhound leaping into Homer's arms is actually has some reality to it. We didn't find out until after the episode aired. I mean, this was just us painting or writing ourselves out of the corner we had painted ourselves in. A good ending for a Christmas show, and
getting a pet under not those circumstances, but like when you get a runt of the litter or something like that is great. When a family of misfits, is is a little bit of a great family.
And it turns out that abandoned racing dogs are a real problem. And we got lots of letters from people who are really glad that we highlighted this social problem.
This terrible, inhumane treatment of race dogs.
I didn't get my Christmas bonus.
I remember this ending
tried
being
not
at
to
the
let it
last
ruin
minute when
Christmas
I
for
had to
everybody,
get everything
no matter
ready
what I
and
did.
set to ship over to Korea. And I basically shot coverage. I shot this entire scene in close-up and wide shot and had 2 people, 1 people.
I forgot. That's exactly right, Jim. This is one of your notes that we were going to shoot coverage. You and Richard Sakai said, let's shoot coverage in animation so we can make decisions in editing.
Santa's little helper.
Wow.
Well, that one we didn't have.
We gave up that idea.
Well, that one we didn't have the choice because it was like it was the 11th hour, and I was like, I don't know what's going to work, so we're going to just animate coverage here.
It's a great episode. It's a fantastic first episode. Nicely shows you which each character is about nicely, and yeah, it's an easy. Even though it's the first episode, it's an easy one to watch again. But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. And tomorrow we'll be doing episode 2. What is episode 2?
Hey, Rudolph, get your nose over here so you can guide my sled today.
Amazing. What is that? Episode 2? What's it called? Bart the Genius. Great episode. Okay. Thank you very much. And see you later. See you tomorrow, guys. Oh, it brings back memories.